Have you ever wondered why the endless ocean map in Melon Playground is called that? After all, the word endless implies not only the absence of boundaries, but also absolute emptiness, which over time begins to give rise to something terrifying that goes beyond the usual game code. What we see before us is not just a set of sprites, but a complex closed ecosystem where each monster plays its sinister role in the biological chain created by invisible developers and experimenters. Let's start with the most noticeable one, a huge sea serpent that gracefully curves on the left side of the frame. Its scales have a strange metallic sheen, which suggests its artificial origin. Perhaps it is not a living creature in the usual sense, but a biomechanical cable that transmits data from the server core to the deeper layers of the map, and its teeth are only needed to dispose of failed Melon models that have come too close to the texture border. Look at its eyes. They glow with a cold scarlet light, just like the shark in the center, a clear sign that they are connected to a single control network. The shark here is not just a predator, but a fast interceptor. Its movements calculated by an algorithm so that the victim has no chance of escape. It is the physical embodiment of an antivirus that removes any foreign objects that have entered the water without permission. But the most mysterious character in this abyss is the deep-sea anglerfish hovering above. Its lantern is not just bait for fish, but a powerful emitter that hypnotizes the player and forces them to descend lower and lower until the water pressure becomes critical for the character model. There is a theory that the angler's light is the only source of true information in this dark world, and those who follow it will eventually see what is hidden behind the black loading screen. On the right, we see a giant octopus whose tentacles seem endless. It is the embodiment of the system's multitasking capabilities, able to hold dozens of objects at once, conducting cruel experiments on them to fuse flesh and mechanisms. Notice how calm it is. It knows that in this water, it is the chief architect of flesh. The glowing jellyfish drifting along the right edge seem harmless at first glance, but in fact, they are living motion sensors that react to the slightest fluctuations in the water, sending an alarm signal to the other guardians of the abyss. Their electrical discharges can instantly paralyze any target, turning it into easy prey for a shark or snake. The rays of light piercing through the water look unnaturally regular, as if they were not from the sun, but from huge scanners combing the ocean in search of anomalies or escaped test subjects. If you look closely at the background, you can see the blurred shadows of other creatures, which means that what we see on the screen is only a small part of a huge army waiting for its moment in complete darkness. There is a legend among old players that the Endless Ocean map is a dump of deleted files that have gained self-awareness and begun to evolve, adapting to an aggressive environment where there is no solid ground underfoot. Every time you spawn a melon in this water, you give these monsters a new batch of genetic material for their endless modernization. A red dot on the lock icon in the corner of the screen may mean that the system is locked and there is no escape from this nightmare until the hunting cycle is complete. The monsters do not fight each other because they are parts of a single organism, a single huge program designed to cleanse the game world of excesses. The sea serpent is the spine of this system, the shark is its fangs, the octopus is its arms, and the jellyfish are its nerve endings. The anglerfish acts as the mind that lures the curious into the trap. Have you ever wondered why the water in Melon Playground has such strange physics? It seems thick and heavy, as if it were not water at all, but some kind of nutrient medium for growing new species of monsters. Perhaps those small fish swimming in the background are future giants that will eventually grow up and replace the current guardians. The theory is that if you stay on this map long enough, the sounds of the ocean will begin to change, turning into the distorted voices of distant characters begging for help, but their cries are drowned out by the roar of huge jaws. This image is not just a screenshot of the gameplay, it is a frozen moment before a global crash, when all the monsters gather together to meet something coming from outside. Perhaps they are protecting us from something even more terrifying that dwells beyond the game code, and their frightening appearance is just a way to scare us away from the danger zone. But looking into those red, compassionless eyes, it's hard to believe in their good intentions. Every movement of a tentacle, every flap of a fin is a precisely calibrated command from the processor. The Abyss doesn't just look at you, it analyzes your fear, records your actions, and learns from your mistakes so that the next time you encounter it, it will be your last. You will never find the bottom in the endless ocean because the bottom is an illusion created to give you false hope of solid ground. In reality, beneath you are kilometers of compressed data and forgotten updates teeming with creatures like these. If you decide to challenge this pack, remember that you are not fighting the images on the screen, but the very essence of the game, which has decided that it no longer needs you. The monsters in this frame are standing in a battle formation, blocking all possible escape routes, up, down, and to the sides. Notice how the composition of the frame draws your gaze to the center, to the shark, the most aggressive element, while the snake and octopus create a living ring. This is a tactic of drive hunting used by top predators. Even if you manage to defeat one, hundreds of jellyfish will take its place and deplete your resources. The game deliberately makes these creatures so detailed against the backdrop of a minimalist interface to emphasize their alienness and significance. These are not just mods, they are a manifestation of chaos ordered by the strict logic of survival. The next time you force your melon to dive into these depths, take a closer look at the shadows. You may see not only these monsters there, but also your own reflection, distorted by the lens of the endless ocean. This abyss does not forgive mistakes. It devours them, turning them into new nightmares for future generations of players. And as long as the fisherman's lantern burns, the hunt will continue forever, because in a world where there is no end, there is no place for rest. Only endless struggle in the cold darkness among pixels and pain. You are just a guest in their world, and the conditions of your stay here are dictated not by the settings menu, but by those who swim beneath you, waiting for the moment when you finally lower your camera too low. Each of these creatures has its own unique vibration frequency, which together creates the very background hum you hear in your headphones when you dive. It's not the sound of water, it's the whisper of the program grinding your actions into dust. Look at the jellyfish again. They pulsate to the rhythm of your heartbeat, synchronizing with you so that they can strike precisely at the right moment. The sea serpent slowly contracts its rings, the shark accelerates, the octopus prepares to grab, and the anglerfish extinguishes its light, leaving you in absolute darkness, alone with something that cannot be described in words. This is the true theory of the infinite ocean, a place where the game ceases to be a game and becomes your personal digital purgatory. Enjoy the view while you can, because in the next second the screen may go dark, and you will be left alone with the question, who is really on the other side of the monitor, and isn't your reality just as controlled as this patch of virtual water? Take care of your melons, because in this ocean, they are the only thing that connects you to humanity in a world of cold and calculating code. Remember that every pixel of this abyss is steeped in the history of thousands of falls, and the monsters here are just chroniclers, recording your failures with their fangs on the fabric of virtual space. The ocean awaits, and its appetite is boundless, just like the name of this cursed map. The script has already been written, the roles have been assigned, and you are just a minor character in it, whose time is running out with every bubble of air rising to a surface that does not exist. The depths are calling, and you have no choice but to answer that call, plunging into the embrace of creatures that were here before the beginning of time and will remain after the last copy of the game is erased from human memory. Well, that was Melon Girl. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.